This is our end of year fasting and prayer end of year conference, and I want to thank you. This is the Destiny Changer with Idikai Mary. This is where your destiny will be changed and progress made very rapidly. Tonight, I want to make an appeal to all of you watching around the world via live streaming, and those of you who are conferencing with us tonight via the phone line, what we call the phone church. I want to, in the name of Jesus, make an appeal to you for your support to our ministry. And that's all I can say. I won't say more than that. All right. I will begin by sharing something. If I keep pouring the word of miracles on you, for some of you, there are impediments. There are impediments to receiving or impediment that stand between the word of God and you are today and tomorrow. So normally, like our tradition is, the tradition of the gospel, when I've ministered a little bit, I allow the Spirit of God to let me know what I really have to do. Because I can go on and on ministering about destiny and dreams till December 23, which is what we are doing. But I want to stop tonight to share very important things that you need to know. This is very important. This has to be done once in your lifetime. And I want you to take it extremely serious. There are people who will decide not to take it serious because they are connected with people in high places. But you forget that even people in high places, they come and go, they rise and fall. Many a times, people who are not connected, whose destiny and dream ain't connected with the Most High God, the God who spoke to our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you discover that after their lifetime, all that they have built is scattered or destroyed, and their influence is stamped out from the face of the earth. Nobody remembers them. Nobody needs them. Because their influence was not established in the supernatural. I want you to be aware of this so that you do not make the same mistake. I do not want you to make the same mistakes that people who have come to this earth they have made. They came, they went, and their influences and all that they constructed died with them. Those kind of influence is what we call prosperity, generational prosperity. And it normally begins with one person and die with that one person. It's not really passed on. I observe that I am ministering to some extent I'm ministering to different kinds of people around the world. And there are certain groups that I'm ministering to who feel that they don't have any power. They feel that they will not be able to climb the top of the ladder. And so they've given up. They've given up hope. They are like, I'm done. I do not think that the God who spoke to our ancestors will be able to help me. That's what they are saying. And that's not neither fair nor true. Everyone can climb up. That's the meaning of destiny and dreams. But the point is, some people are so weak, so tired, that they do not believe that they will be able to achieve anything on earth. Others do not have what it takes to ask the right question or do the work that it takes to climb. So they remain where they are. And the rest of us, we have to carry this group and cover this group. We have to cover. What I mean by cover is protect, provide, and prosper this group. That's a big job for us to do. But I want you to be aware that there are going to be people who are going to be paralyzed by fear of even trying. And it will be on the rest of us to help this group. I have many of them in my ministry. Tonight, I want to talk to you about your bloodline. Tomorrow we will continue, tomorrow we will continue, tomorrow we'll continue we will continue with the story of Joseph. But midnight today, if you like yourself, come to the night prayers at 12 o'clock Central Time. In fact, if we finish what we are doing, let me look at the time. What is this? This is 8:29. If we finish this on time, we could have it earlier than that, like around 10 o'clock. If we finish what we are about to do on time, we can have it at 10 o'clock. Earlier, very early. 10 o'clock Central Time, which is 11 o'clock for people in the East Coast. I will actually love people to go to bed at 11 o'clock or so that you can have a good night's rest. There's no use keeping you here for a long time. So let's get to what we are doing. And let's see whether we can finish tonight on time so that we'll be back by 10 or 10:30. When we are done, I will tell you. I'll look at when we are done, then I will tell you when we should come back, because there should be a night prayer tonight. I'm just being sensitive to the impression of the Spirit on me. I want to Tomorrow is Wednesday. I want you, when you step out of this conference tonight, to call your family members wherever they are in the world, if you're in good terms with them, or email them, Facebook them, Google Plus them, tweet them, text them, send them my video. Tell them that I am doing genetic salvation. I am offering people genetic salvation. This is what I learned very strongly from Francis Miles. And I've spent time to look at the biblical content of it. I mean, I've looked at curses and all of this from different perspectives. But I also believe his is very authentic. Therefore, I've listened, I've learned, I've also looked at scriptures. And then the Holy Spirit said to me, you need to offer this package to your partners and to people around the world. This is what I'm going to tell you. At every and in every generation, there is someone who becomes what we call the representative. There is no time in the history of the Godhead on earth that one of them is not here. Why? Because this is their universe. They made this. Salvation is not just receiving Jesus. I did share with you all subsequent years ago how one of the problems with the way the gospel came to us was either it came to us as a church gospel or it lacked the salvation experience, lacked certain things, certain ingredient in it. The food was not properly served. Why? Because all the ingredient of the salvation experience wasn't put in place. By the way, I want to spend this time to thank my partner in Chicago, Lizzie, and Patsy in Malaysia for their provision of they made available this tablet laptop. Finally, I've been able to, I'm just showing it to both of you. This is far more. I am grateful that two of you were able to bring your resources together. And I put a little bit of mine into it to purchase something that is not just durable, it is functional, and at the same time, it is everything all in one. So I want to thank two of you. Thank you very much. And also, Geneva, thank you. Be strong. Keep doing what you're doing. Even though you're small, you're a big mama. You know that. There is a package that we want to offer to everyone around the world who are listening to the sound of my voice. We want to deal. We want to offer genetic salvation. Don't let anybody lie to you that sins committed by your father and mother, race, people connected to your race, connected to your nation, connected to your state, connected to your lineage, your family line. Don't let nobody tells you that Bell doesn't have a hand in the genetic pool of cultures. He does. If you say that that is a lie, look at the outcome. Look at the outcome of black South Africans after the apartheid regime. See the outcome of it. Up till today, there are still people who are insane, traumatized. It will take the cleansing of the gene pool for South Africans to be normal. Or look at the Africans that were forced into America. Brazil has the highest concentration of blacks in the I don't know how we can call that atmosphere in that particular territory. It's not really, is that part of the Caribbean or so? The Brazil is part of the places where they took Africans to, has the highest numbers of African people in the diaspora. But go and check out the effect of what happened in the past in Brazil among those groups. And come to America and you take a look at what has happened. Not just, and not only that, you see, look at the effect of what has happened to people of African ancestry in America. After the lynching, the slavery, the abuse, the beatings, look at what has happened to their genes and how they react to life. Either they are oversensitive, hypersensitive, or they are paralyzed with fear and do not want to get involved. And then you go back and then you begin to look at those who perpetuated those kind of activities. And then you take a look at what is happening to their children. Go and take a look at it. At the Netherlands communities, the Dutch community in South Africa. Or Spain itself. Everyone who have participated, who either tortured or were tortured, go and see what has happened. The America of today will be lying to ourselves that, okay, the majority is still ruling. Well, there's a problem there. Because most of what is in the soil of America, outsiders' money has made it to happen. So there's also a case there. There's also a case against the perpetrators. That's why we should be careful not to continue to perpetuate evil. Because you are giving a place. You are giving an open doors and portals for demons to put leanings on genes of people. Let me say this. Since Adam and Eve listened and bought the suggestions of darkness, of Satan, the enemy of humanity. I'll put it that way so that you know this very clearly. Satan is the enemy of humanity. Since that time, the gene of human beings become tainted. It became compromised genes. So that there is a pool between God Almighty and Satan in the lives of humans. So where you see a good thing happen, you'll see a bad thing happening. It's not just one way. And I've asked this question for a long time. Even after somebody was born again, you still see demonic leanings on that person's lifestyle. And people go through deliverance and all of that, and it doesn't work. People receive Jesus, and that doesn't solve all the problem. There is what we call genetic salvation, whereby prophetically we make up our mind that we want to enter into somebody else's bloodline. The shedding of the blood of Jesus, you see, we receive Jesus. Listen to this. This is what we do. We receive Jesus as our personal Lord. We make him to be our God. That's what we are saying. So that the door is open for us to reconnect with heaven. Being born again is not just for you to avoid hell. It is actually to connect you back to your inheritance, to your heritage, which is heaven, which is the Father, which is Jesus, which is the Holy Ghost, and which is the community of angels and the saints. It is for you to begin to live, that is L-I-V-E, to enjoy living in two planets at the same time. But mainly, I have watched a lot of my partners suffer unnecessarily, harassed unnecessarily, and many of them, they turn back and they take it out on me. But I smile because I understand why what is going on with them. And this is what I want to say tonight. There was no proper genetic deliverance. The deliverance of the gene and of the gene pool. For example, you are all witnesses to this. You are told that at salvation, when you confess Jesus, you move to the side of Jesus, to the side of eternity, to the side of pure spirit, to the side of holiness, that your spirit is saved, but your mind is still carnal, is still worldly. and that you need the word of God every day. You read the word every day, you meditate on the word every day, and you've done all of that. And still, sin is still happening. You are still being overcome. You're still being attacked by powers of darkness. You're still being attacked by the powers of darkness. Your children ain't saved. Your husband ain't healed. Or you yourself ain't healed. You've done everything you can do. All prayers, all fasting. You've gone to all crusades. You've traveled to nations to meet with pastors and all kind of stuff. And there are still failures. You lose your job. Your marriage is at stake. By the way, let me speak to those of you. Of course, we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that. I am calling on those of you who are in my little circle to remind me to do a talk to marriage couple. I want to do a broadcast to marriage couples. I want to talk about the place of forgiveness or the place of living. Forgiveness and staying, or forgiveness and living. I need to deal with it very quickly. The Holy Spirit has been impressing that on my mind, on my spirit for a long time. As long as your bloodline is still natural and has not yet been worked on, I'm not just talking about a spiritual thing or a mind thing, but I'm talking about the supernatural of Jesus touching your gene and dealing with it, tweaking it, interfering in it, cleansing it with his blood. There will still be a warfare. Most warfare is happening because you are saved. You are filled with the Holy Ghost. But the devil has still has some legal rights in certain things concerning your life. For example, say there were things that happened in the past. Because you see, the past is always used against the present and the future. And that's why in some families you come in, you see wonderful educated ladies or educated men. Nobody will marry them. Everybody simply uses them and pass on. They can give you children. And then you and them will be in a battle over the child, over the house, over the car. There will be absolute disorder. Another thing is, you are born again, you are spirit filled, but you are never detailed. You're always in a rush. Things are always going bad. And you seem not to know why. Along the way, even you yourself will be used by those demonic leanings inside your gene. When it erupts, from time to time, it erupts like a volcanic eruption. And what happened? You'll go and begin to commit sin and do things, or you make mistakes. You make mistakes that you shouldn't make. And people will be surprised. Why? Why are you doing? What really happened? And you yourself say, I don't really know. For example, I've discovered not doing things in detail is not just a character thing. There are some demonic leanings. There is a place where behavior, you pay for your behavior, but there is also a place where there are eruptions in you going on. There is something that happens to a particular culture in Nigeria that I have observed for years. I've made those people an object and subject of my investigation. When once they reach certain height of glory and power and money, they begin to go down. And their going down doesn't stop till they die. They never live and die in the city. They always go back to their villages and become farmers, petty farmers. None of them ever climb to the top of their game. Never. I have said this before when I talk about how to ask God for something. There are certain things that are legal. And you don't treat them as prayers. You treat them as a power thing, a legal thing. And there are many of you that are going through this. After checking out and investigating, many of you, people who call me, thousands of people call me in a year, in each year. And I've decided that beginning on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I think Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Beginning from Thursday, I will open the office up from 8 o'clock in the morning to people around the world. I want to perform the services of genetic salvation. I want to deal with your genes and your gene pool. Are you aware that you can go to a country, and a country that you respect, and unfortunately, because you are of a different color and race, they treat you like second class and third class? You used to be a medical doctor in your country, and you come down to another country. They recognize your education, they recognize everything about you, but they will never give you an opportunity to practice as a doctor. And even after you qualified as a doctor in the new country and you start to practice, they begin to give you so much trouble. Why? Because someone like you was not supposed to qualify. And they will frustrate you to the point that you go back to your own country. Why? Because there's been a racial hatred secreted and pumped into the gene pool of people like you. That's why one lady was talking about trying to get a job in America, trying to get a quality job that fits with her degree. Nobody will give it to her because of her name. When she submit application, when once they look at her name, oh, this is foreign. Oh, this woman is from Africa. Should they put it aside? And they gave it to people who were less qualified. So she said, I'm going to do something. I'm going to check this out. Let me look at the time just to make sure. She said, I'm going to check. I'm going to investigate this. So she legally changed her name. The same city, but she legally changed her name to a name that sounds American. No longer a Ghanaian name. No longer a Ghanaian name. She left all those names. Something, Kofi Kwame. Well, those are the two major names I know about Ghana people. If you are not Kofi, I'm talking about their men. If you are not Kofi, they are Kwame. That's what I say. Just fun, okay? Mary, don't crucify me, okay? I understand that you love me. Don't crucify me. I'm just being funny. Okay. So she changed her name to something else that is purely an American name. She did it within 1 week while she was in her trashy job. This woman has a master's degree and is finishing her doctorate. She applied back to the same job that did not even answer her. They called her up immediately and gave her that job immediately. Why? She changed her name. She changed her name. There is a way the earth is organized. There's a way the devil has suggested for people to do business on earth. And you need to know so that you know what you're doing. I used to ask myself why there's this guy we call Kofi Brook. That's what he said. They used to call him. He went and changed his name to something Wood. Completely. Pure English. He's in England. He changed it to English name. And it began to make sense. Because they understand even names, leanings on names. You do not want demons. You do not want Baal, the God with 1,000 faces and cultures, to still has power over the gene pool of your life and family. My job from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days, is for those of you who will sow a certain good seed into my ministry. Call me. I'm going to spend time wherever you are in the world. Call me. I want to perform the service of genetic salvation, cleansing the gene. I want your gene to be shaken so that there is no legal ground for the powers of darkness to hold you. Many of you have dreams of scorpions and snakes and water and problems all the time. That will stop. Many of you constantly sick and sick and sick and sick and sick. When once that is done, the demon that turns it on, that turns sickness on in you, turns joblessness, poverty, all of that, will discover they don't have any legal ground and they will just vanish. You will no longer make mistake in your selection of a man for a husband or a wife. You will no longer give birth to children who will bring you headache and problems instead of blessing and prosperity. You will no longer be having problem with a bank. You will no longer be having problem with having a car and you lose it, or having a house and you lose it, or have problem with debt, I want to do a service of cleaning your genetic makeup supernaturally, physically. So you pray for me, because this is gonna be a big one. 4 days. 4 days of destroying a curse within your genetic pool. 4 days of destroying curses. Please, if G from Toronto is on the line, please let me know. I urge you after this conference to call me immediately. Please, G from Toronto. Because you have a big part to play in this. We want to, in summary, we are going to break the hidden causes that is afflicting your life. The hidden curses that want you to die exactly the time that your father died, exactly the time that your mother died. Exactly through cancer, because everybody went through cancer, everybody went through high blood pressure, stroke, diabetics. That's what I've observed. People have got to listen carefully. I've observed that whoever is going to be the champion of a family, we are talking about dreams and destiny. Whoever is going to be a champion of the family will be targeted and be taken out the same way that your father or mother was taken out. It's always so, because you see, devils replay a movie, they replay an audio, they replay a text. I used to live somewhere. I used to pastor somewhere back in Africa. And I was shocked that when my senior brother moved from the city, he moved to the city where I used to pastor a church. She and my sister went there. They never consulted me. What pulled them down there? And they are still there. This week I'm going to talk to them that they have to move out of that place. Where you used to live, you'll be surprised that a member of your family, when you've far gone from that place, will go and live in that same place. The mistakes you make, you will see people in your family repeating the same cycle. The mistake that your father made, they repeat it. The mistake your mother made, they repeat it. Or even if it was not a mistake, that was their style and their way of life. You see yourself being pulled towards that. You see yourself marrying a man that is going to treat you in such a way that you begin to repeat a pattern in your family. Or you're married to a woman who's going to treat you in such a way that you begin to repeat a pattern long gone in your family. And the reason why this happens is that a pattern is kept in place and intact. A circle is enforced. I'm going to introduce you to a new bloodline. The bloodline of the Son of God. The one to whom angels sing about. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain before the foundation of the world. You see, this is where the theme is going to come from for this thing we're going to do. This is where the theme is going to come from. Could somebody turn to John chapter 1, begin to read from verse 1. When you find it, you tell me I find it. I'll stop talking so that you start reading. I'm going to show you something in John so that you know that this is serious. Because you're going to say, well, my gene is a physical thing. How can he tweak my gene supernaturally? Well, you're going to see what happens concerning your salvation. What happened to you when you become born again? Something further is going to happen to you when you receive genetic salvation, the salvation of your gene. So that from now on, those who will come through you will not need to go through the same thing. I am connected to the priesthood of Melchizedek, the king and the priests of Salem. And how am I connected to that? Through Jesus. Through Jesus. And Jesus himself is connected to Melchizedek priesthood. This is incredible. There are connections. There are connections that cannot be broken if it is well connected. I remember in the morning we were talking about that dream is the tool that you use to construct a destiny so that your destiny is made. Remember we said that in the morning. This is how you know that what I minister is from heaven, is not from earth. And I'm ministering to two planets at the same time. Has somebody found John chapter 1?
Yes.
Okay, begin to read from verse 1.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with the God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men.
Stop there. Number 1, Jesus is the creator of all things, seen and unseen. Number 2, he is the owner of life. Continue reading.
And the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness apprehended it not. There was a man sent from God, whose name was John. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not the light, but was sent to bear witness of the light. That word was the true light, which lightens every man that comes into this world.
Okay, stop there. Don't leave. Don't let your eye leave where you just stop. Enlightenment. If you belong to the occult, I dare challenge you. If you belong to the occult, or if you belong to witchcraft or to all those things, I dare challenge you. If you want to be illumined, if you want to be enlightened, there is a man whose name is the one that lights people up, the enlightener, fire. His name is Jesus. If you want secret knowledge, he is the embodiment of every secrecy you want. Lucifer is not the real light bearer. The light bearer is Jesus. I'm just letting you know. I'm throwing this challenge down for you to see it and to know it. If you are looking for enlightenment through any other source, it's going to fail you and you're going to go to hell. For at the end of the day, the light you are looking for, you'll discover that it is darkness parading itself as light. Continue, my dear.
He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become sons of God, even to them that believe on his name.
That is where the exercise of sonship begins. The acceptance of him, the acceptance of Jesus as the real Illuminati. Many of you are talking about Illuminati. Light givers. Here is the real Illuminati, if you want. If you really want to belong to something more. We belong to a God whose name is Mo. And he has turned you into more. This is where sonship authority begins. You don't need to be in those things to be great. Greatness is already there for you to accept and to receive and to exercise. As many as received him or got him. Jesus is somebody that you receive, you invite, you got, and you don't let go. He gave the power for you to exercise sonship. God's kind of sonship, not the other thing that will make you go crazy. Or you make one mistake, they dump you or kill you or something. Continue to read.
Even to them that believe on his name, who are not born of blood,
Okay.
nor of the will.
Okay, listen, this is where what we are about to do on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes from. You're being born again. You're being equipped with illumined power. You're being given authority to exercise sonship that blasts demons to pieces. The power of heavenly wrestling and prevailing. The power to become a son of eternity, a son of heaven. The power to become a ruler, a world dominator, a success, a champion, a winner. All of that. See how it happened. They were not born of, read that place.
Who were not born of blood.
They were not born of human blood. You were born of human blood. But for you to become born again and to exercise sonship and to exercise power over darkness and for you to become successful in life because of the center, Jesus, it doesn't happen because of the way you were born. It doesn't happen because of blood. Or, read that, or,
Nor of the will of flesh.
or of the will of a human being. It was, his foundation, his author is not in the human historical processes and transaction or transmission. It did not come because of the will of the decision of somebody for you. blood, human intellect, and craftsmanship. What is that? Read the next thing.
Nor of the will of man.
None of the will of man. Okay, read that 3 again. Is that verse 13 or 14 you're reading?
13.
13. Read that again.
Who are not born of blood.
You are not
nor
born
of
again because of blood. No.
Nor of the will of flesh.
None of the will of the flesh.
Nor of the will of man.
Nor of the will of man.
But of God.
But of God. That's verse 12 and verse 13 is the word we stand on. You are born again because of the will of God. You are going to heaven. In fact, you live in heaven right now because of that. You enjoy the big things of heaven because of this, because of the will of God. So what is the will of God? The will of God is to deliver you from the power of the blood of man, of the will of the flesh, and of the will of humans. See the 3 things there. Flesh is involved. Mental processes of a human being is involved. What human being think and what I do for you. Bloodline, not born of blood. Bloodline is involved in our being human. But for God to change us into who we should be, according to his will, he now will set aside our bloodline, the way human beings treat us, the thing they've written about your race, the thing they've written, the way life has been set up against you before you were born. Even among Caucasian people, people of European ancestry, there are classes and grades. And you are not supposed to cross from one grade or class to the next because you've been put in your place. That's what blood does. That's what the will of the flesh does. That's what the will of man does. Your father died, your mother died, and you are done. The way human beings reason things, the way they put things, the way the bloodline flows, the way the racial things goes. That's what we are going to deal with it. You are going to call me just one time. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I make it 4 days for everyone, for you to tell your family members. Tell them to sow a seed during this time. Sow a seed, then you call me. Don't call me without sowing a seed. Please don't. Go, sow a seed, you call. Then we'll fix an appointment and I'll deal with it once and for all. Anything that become incredibly more than something on the phone, I'll fly down to where you are. If you can pay for it, I'll fly down to where you are and deal with it and fly back. I'm serious. I'm very serious. Because now I'm flexible. I want to meet people's needs where they are and deal with it and fly back. If you can pay for my 8 tickets, hotel, I'll come deal with it. Next day, I'm gone. For people in that area, you can organize this and I'll come and deal with CURSES and gene in your area for those people, and then boom, I go. Why? Because I want success. I want success for those who call me. I want success for my partners. I want success for my faith family. So you see what you are reading in verse 12 and verse 18 of John chapter 1. The foundation is set that you are being a winner, a champion. You are being a millionaire, a billionaire. You are being in great jobs with great pay. It's not going to have anything to do with blood, will of the flesh, will of man. It's going to be God's own will. And what is the will of God? Let's look at it. Let's turn it upside down. The blood of Jesus and the will of Jesus and the will of the Father. And what is it? Is to align you with the bloodline of heaven. That's what I want to do. I want to align you with the bloodline of heaven so that you are free to enter next year. Now, let me share something which I'm going to have a separate video. The 7-year cycle began, I think, around September 2014. 2014 and 15 to September 2015, first year. 2015 September to September 2016, second year. Now we've entered, it's something that you need to be careful about. We've entered into the third year, 2016 September to 2017 September will be the third year of the Shemitah. And this is my fear. And that's why I'm not troubled by the way the election went. It doesn't matter to me. Because I know better how heaven works. I'm going to tell you. It's not just that every 4 years Americans are eager to change to a new party. They start first, how you know who are going to be in the White House in 8 years, in the next, after 4 years, is watch the people in control of the House and Senate at a particular time. And then you will know. God might be telling people, this is who I want, but it's left for you to choose that person. But this is what I'm going to tell you. The rise of a tower speaks of the Migdal, speaks of greatness. And when the tower comes crashing, it speaks of a judgment. Since 9/11, when did 9/11 happen? When did 9/11 happen? Which year? Have you guys forgotten? Anybody tell me?
The year 2000.
Huh?
The year 2000.
Which year did 9/11 happen?
2001.
2001. What was 2001? 2001 was the end of a 7-year cycle and the beginning of a new one. 2001 was the beginning of a new 7-year cycle. And America came under judgment. I'm going to release a broadcast. I'm going to be working with Renee to do some of this sensitive and complicated stuff. Because I want you guys to be educated. What America is doing right now, don't let anybody fool you by telling you that they are going to make America great again. In 2001, the height of the country crumbled. The Shemitah Is God either raising kingdoms or humbling human arrogance? What you are going to witness in America right from 2001. In fact, the last one, the last judgment came in 2007. And Obama has been patching things. People are quarreling. Why didn't he do this? Why did he do that? The nation is under judgment. The nation is under judgment. More towers will fall. I'm not being negative. I'm just being frank. And anyone who goes to the White House is walking with judgment already at the foundation. I'm serious. You're going to see what is going to happen. And everyone who will come to be in charge is going to be in the hand of God, part of the Avengers. It's not going to be a blessing. It's going to be a curse. Now look at America. We now have gay rights through Obama. It's open. Now you can be punished if you don't have health insurance through Obama. I didn't like any of those things. But I have said it openly to all of you. I don't hold any animosity towards the gay community or towards anybody. Anybody can be anything. You can be any sex and you can be any religion. It's none of my business. My business is to build the kingdom. And if gay people come to my ministry, they are welcome. And I need their big money to run their different programs. Can they be born again? Yes. It's a fine line. You need to know. It's a fine line. It's a very fine line. It's now complicated. It's now really complicated. But you see, Europe has already dealt with it. Europe has already dealt with it. The two things Obama was trying to do, Europe has already dealt with it. Healthcare is for everybody in Europe and in Canada. The gays already have their right. Long time ago in Europe and Canada. All of Europe and Canada, I think so. Yep. And not only that, Europe is going through the same judgment. Europe is going through judgment. People are asking, why is it that Iraq and Afghanistan and Iran and Syria are having all this thing, and Pakistan too, are having all this Islamic thing? I'm telling you what it is. They are going through severe punishment and judgment. It will be more severe than you say. The harbinger is at work. God will permit those things to happen because human beings don't want to listen. If you don't want to listen, he let his judgment happen in every 7 years. If you listen, he let his prosperity happen to you every 7 years. Your credit, the credit you owe anybody was to be forgiven, pardoned, wiped out. That is why 2 years ago, people had more, 2 years ago, people had more, what do we call it? Credit pardon, debt cancellation in my ministry. Last 2 years. Now we are entering more into the judgment. And I started praying for God to turn the judgment. That in this 3rd year, when the judgment begin to creep on us, I've started fasting and praying. That's why we do what we are doing in ministry. We're fasting and praying that it become prosperity for my partners. That's why 2017 is the year of supernatural financial deliverance for my people. It's a 7-year cycle of prosperity for us, while the entire nation is going through judgment. So forget about what politicians are telling you. I don't want to get involved in politics, because the nation is going through judgment. There are things that has happened, things that Republicans have done wrong, and things that Democrats have done wrong. So forget about the one party accusing the other one, trying to make itself. Let me tell you, each of them is trying to convince you. Like myself, you cannot convince me. Why? I already have my conviction somewhere else. Each of them is trying to convince you so that you can put them in power. I'm not putting anybody in power. Why? The two parties have done things. They've put statutes and laws in operation in the nation that has brought judgment. Both parties. And a lot of pastors don't want to say this, because this is why if they say it, they'll become poor. Nobody give them money, because ministry is about money to a lot of people. And they do not want to, they don't want to go into that. If you guys support me financially, I can tell you the will of God. But if you allow outsiders to sponsor me, then I will not be able to tell you the will of God, because other people will be in charge of what I'm doing and what I'm saying. That's how the game goes in life. There's a judgment that has come because things are wrong. There are things that the parties have done, those in government have done, that is really, really wrong. Go and read Jeremiah chapter 7 and you will begin to see God's will towards real immigrants, not those who are coming to chop up people's head and do all those nonsense. Real people who are crying for shelter, for food, and for a real job. Orphans, widows, the sick, the disabled. Go and see what God says. If you touch those people, judgment is coming. And those people have been touched. Somebody have wronged. The cry of the poor and of the immigrant communities have reached the sky realm. And that's very dangerous. I don't want it to be something that will upset what I'm saying. So you can talk to me about it later, okay?
Yes, on the subject. Anybody who is an ally of a country of a nation that judgment is being passed on, you know, they behave in the same manner. Like in India right now, the president, he's behaving in the same way. And so many poor people, they are committing suicide because the $500 rupees and 1,000 rupees have been banned there. And, you know, the poor people, they don't have money, any other currency as big as that or lesser than that, even to go and buy food in the market, except for the, you know, really rich people. So he did this, Modi did this because he didn't want black money in the market. So he's going to continue this for a year, and poor people have only change, you know, pennies and coins, and they're not able to buy anything with the 2,000 rupees that they're being given by the banks.
Okay, So if they have this currency, because normally if you want to remove the currency from the nation, you give them up to like a year or two, and they can now go to the bank and they can change and give them the exact amount of money in the new currency. Is that not what is happening?
No, but he can't do it without just letting people know. He did it in one day. And all the rich people, they moved their money into his Swiss bank and all those other places and converted the currency into whatever he was going to do. So the poor people have no idea, had no inkling, and when they went to purchase someday, they were told you can't purchase anything with that currency anymore. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, this is such a big shock to Indian community.
Okay, because I've never heard of this kind of a thing.
Yeah,
I've never heard of this. What I know, what I know, Malia, is this. When a new currency is to come into effect, you can still be using the old currency up to a year until it completely changed.
No, it's not.
So you are saying that in one single day, people are not to use that money anymore. So how are they going to? Are they going to just carry all their money from their house and just go and stand and queue in the line at the bank? Is that what is happening in India today?
Yes, they cannot use. For instance, I can't use $5 bills. I can only use $100 bills, and I have to consume all that money if I go to the store. If I go to a small store, which I'm only capable of going to, I can't buy from Macy's. I never bought from Macy's. All right? And I have only $5 with me. I can never use that money. I have to throw that money away now. Because the only thing the nation is using is $100. If I don't have $100, then I need to earn it somehow.
Okay. So, is it taking them a long time for them to convert their money and give them the new currency?
It's not new currency. Yeah, by the time those poor people, the rickshaws and the auto drivers and, buggy drivers, they'll never be able to make that money. Never. And Western Union does not, just give out the, $100 rupee, 100 rupee notes. It gives them whatever currency they want. And not everybody has a bank account in India. There's poor people. No.
Okay. I don't understand all of it, but I will ask Lizzie and I will ask Ruby. They will tell me.
In the past 1 week. Yeah, so sad to hear.
You cannot say that from now on nobody should use $5 bills. Next morning, you say from next morning nobody can use $5 bills. You have to carry those $5 bills and go and stand in the bank and wait. Nobody should accept that $5 bills. Okay, that is a very wrong economy. Indians are supposed to be very smart. So I don't understand which economists are advising your president. I have no idea.
Yeah, the people are cursing it. They're literally cursing him, cursing him. If you watch the video, oh my God.
It doesn't. Okay, let me tell you this. When you make move like that and poor people begin to commit suicide, well, I can assure you that it's not going to go well with that president, nor with his government. But I don't know all the details. I'll try and find out the details. But let me just share this with you. Let me share this with all of you. What is happening in America today after 2001, after 9/11, is what we call defiance. It's like God is trying to humble a nation, and our nation is being in defiance of God, of his ways. For example, when we talk about abortion, are we really talking about life in general? Or is abortion and guns what we use to win the poor people? Poor people who doesn't really want anything out of life. So they want a talking point. We passed that stage. in American history where you use abortion or gay rights or guns as the means to win election. Only small-minded people think like that. Small-minded fools think that way. I'm serious. I will be very blunt to put it that way. Abortion shouldn't even be the reason why you want to win an election. It's so that you can stop abortion. Because in my own community, we don't have abortion. We don't practice it. So whatever you're pursuing there, I don't know. We people of African descent, we are not many, so we don't have anything to do with abortion. We wanna, if somebody get pregnant, they must deliver the baby. If you don't want the baby, call me. I'll come and adopt them. I'm serious. If you are an African American, or you are from the Caribbean, or you are from South Pacific, or African, black, whatever, if you are pregnant and you think you should go and have an abortion, let me tell you, the Mexican and the Nicaraguans and the Cuban, they will overtake you in the next 5 years because they are having babies everywhere, and their children are gonna be making laws for you. So I don't understand why you want to go and do abortion in the first place. We are not many. We need to be many. And if you are Caucasian, you need people. Don't pride yourself that because you are in the majority. Go and see what is happening to Italy and other European countries. Men can't make women pregnant. And they are bringing people from outside to come and have children for them. Let's begin to face what is playing out there. So it's not just people just want to migrate. Go and look at a lot of European men are marrying African women. Lot of European women are now marrying African men. Not Middle Eastern, not their fellow Europeans. African. And I'm shocked. So abortion shouldn't be the reason. Because we don't need it, we don't practice it, so that's not the reason. Or guns, we have guns to protect our families and our nations. So that should not be, those things shouldn't be talking about. Those are things that we should already have. Those are our heritage. Guns and having children should be our heritage. So I don't know why we are wasting our times on all those things. I want to see the economy come back. I want to see a country that repents, that turns to God. I don't want to hear that you are going to Washington because you want to go and defeat Obama. It means you have nothing that you have no plan, you have no agenda for this nation. Tell us what you want to do for us. How many bridges you want to build? How many universities you want to repair? How many roads you want to put together again? How many people that are really going to have a real job with good pay so that they can go and shop? They can come and buy the guy Mary's product and services. How many mental clinics are you going to set up so that people are not so frustrated that they start getting mad? Those are the real issues. Are you helping the farmers, no matter their race, and let them raise crops and animals so that there's plenty of food for people to eat? Are kids of whatever race mixing together and bringing about the new America, the new Europe, the new Middle East, the new Caribbean, the new South Pacific, the new Africa, the new Canadians, the new English people? Are you going to bring happiness back to people? I'm not interested in any politician who is just interested in power. Power is really what moves them and money. No, I'm looking for people who are going to do something. Not just people who come to insult everybody or people who stand there and do not know how to be aggressive, nothing, and have nothing really planned plan for the nation except attacking each other. That's why the politics of America is purely useless and stupid and nonsense. I don't like it. It doesn't interest me because it doesn't have anything to offer to people like myself. I'm more interested in seeing things, real things happen that changes people's lives. Are the institution to train young people on how to stay on one job, get good pay and promotion, and stay stable in that job for a long time? Those are things we want. And not just talk. Democrats come and talk and talk and talk. And they, what is it? Republican come and talk and talk and talk. And it's the same thing. And people want to go and fight and die for these idiots. And I do not want to stand here to tell you that there are no people in Washington who are good people. There are good people there. But those who go there for power and for money are more than those who go there to see something happen. That's where the problem lies. And these things are happening because there is judgment at the bottom. And that is why no matter, even if you have 1 million professors of economics and so on, professors of banking and accounting and all that, people who are supposed to advise the government on this and that, is not going to work. Because when God pours out his wrath on a nation, no matter how brilliant that nation is, they will still collapse. And I'm telling all of you tonight, face your own life, face your own business. Leave government alone. Doesn't matter who is in government, leave them alone. Because they are crazy. And everything there is a bunch of lie to be in power. Doesn't matter who is there. Someone was there for 8 years. I mean, some things were done on the international scene. But in the local scene, I don't know. And somebody is there again for a different reason altogether. So there we go. There is judgment on America. I can assure you of what I'm telling you. There is judgment on America, and America is on defiance against the voice of God. And because of that, God is going to allow the harbinger to hit them hard, to hit this country hard. And it's going to reach a place where people are going to start running back to church. The church will open their doors and not the mosque. That's why I'm asking God to bless me. Dolly Parton says that she's one of the musicians I really love. She said the reason why she makes money is so that she can play the music that she want to play, not the music that they want her to play and sell, but what she want to enjoy. I want to go around America and have shops, our shops, in shopping centers, or build our own shopping centers, build our own malls, and put chapels inside malls, inside airports, inside shopping centers. I want to have chapels in those places. That will be open. As long as the mall is open, the chapel is open. As long as the shopping center is open, that chapel is open. I want where people can go and seek God, where they can go and seek Jesus. How do you have the mosque open 24/7 and churches around it is all closed? And somebody is shouting from that mosque. The shouting should have been coming from the church. From the church. Why? Because we have the real thing. Go through the streets of New York and the East Coast, and you will hear the imam shouting. the muazzin shouting from the mosque, calling them to prayer. Who is calling us to prayer? That's why I started having morning prayer. And people were not turning up because they didn't really care about it. It didn't really mean anything to them. But for those people, that's their life. You call people to come and pray in the morning or in the night. They don't want it. They want to watch TV. They want to watch. They want to eat. But those other people, they go there. See, this is the thing. We love too much comfort. We don't need God. When we receive what we need from him, we go. And that is not how our God is. If that is how he is, why are the angels singing the same song to him day in, day out, from eternity to eternity? And one song, we are already tired, we are looking for the next song. And the next song will come and everybody will dance to that. Everybody want to listen to that. 2-3 weeks is gone, bam, next. And we think that this thing is entertainment. This is not entertainment. This is life. That's why Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 3 days, I want to deal with your gene. And heaven is going to deal with your gene, your blood. Your bloodline must be dealt with. So that you can love God and not things. You can love God and not spend your entire life with people and not have time with God. You're a witness that you have time for TV, you have time to read novels, you have time to have sex, you have time to drink coffee, you have time to drink tea, you have time to go out and eat, to watch movie, but you don't have any desire to pray. You don't have any desire to go and bow. I was talking to the lady that does my nails. She's from Vietnam. And I said to her, because she can't really speak much English, I said, do you do this? I folded my hand together. That's prayer. She said, wait. She said to me, wait. She said, when she gets home, that she's going to call me on WhatsApp and she will show me this. She will show me where she prays. I thought she was joking. She asked for my number. I gave it to her because I wanted to see. A girl who doesn't speak English is just a year in America doing nails. Let me see how she keep herself going. Where do her power come from? Late at night around 10 o'clock, my WhatsApp my WhatsApp came on and it was her. And she's like, Bishop. She doesn't know how to say bishop. She said, Bishop. It's me show you where me do this. Me show you where me do this. I'm going to show you where she's saying to me, she's going to show me where she prays. And I saw her walking through their house because she lived with her father and mother and so on, and brothers and sisters. And then she walked to her bedroom. And on the corner of the bed was an altar. And on the altar was flowers and a picture of the Buddha, and there was an offering there, and there was a candle burning, incense going on. And she said, that's me pray. Now me show you mom, dad, me, all family pray. So she has her own personal altar in her bedroom. And she's now going to show me the one way the entire family goes to pray. And that one was a bigger altar in their parlor, in their living room. I said, wow. And I said, okay, thank you. Bye-bye. She said, bye-bye. In Utah, one of my neighbors that I really helped them were Hindus. in Utah many years ago. And he invited me to come and eat with them, to come because he knew that I like Indian people, and I'm a fan of Indian food and Indian culture and music and all of that, and BLOODLINE, all of that. And he and his wife invited me. That's when I went to his house. I discovered that they had no bed to sleep on. There was no bed. They just put a mattress on the ground. The man was doing his PhD in computer science. The wife was doing his master's in computer science at the University of Utah. And he was always telling me, how do I become so blessed? I have a big car. I have money. I have people. I said, it's God. He said, you understand. Whenever I talk to him, he would just fold his hand and go, namaste, namaste. And that night, I went to go and eat with him. I said, hey, dude, you mean to tell me there's no bed here? You mean to tell me that you've been having sex with this woman on the floor? He started laughing. He said, well, she doesn't matter. I said, no, it will matter. I understand women more than a lot of men do. It will matter. This is a hard floor. So I went and I hit the bed. I said, there's not much meat in this form. You need a real bed for this woman. And the ladies just smiled. She just smiled at me and bowed. And then I look at the other side, near the wall in their bedroom. And there was a little shrine to the particular goddess that they worship in their side of India. They were, I think, from South India, something like that. They were like, there are some Indians who are more black than black people. That's why I say that Indians are black people anyway.
So funny, Bishop.
Yep. So the only thing you will know that they are Indians is their coily hair that goes backward. That's all. And the dot the wife put on her forehead. And when they speak like some African culture. So I like to mimic them. So I go, so my friend, so what is that you have down there by the wall? What do we call all of that? He goes, I know that you are a Christian, you are a bishop, you are a pastor. Yeah, we Hindu. Well, he mentioned the name of the one. There was Krishna there, and there was another goddess. You say, yeah. And then there was an offering of food. And so it was like watching something from African traditional religion. And I saw the food. So the food they have invited me to eat, they've already scooped some of it in a dish and put at that altar. There was candle burning. There was incense there. He said, but you know that we have to be very devoted to these things because this is where our life is. I said, well, I understand. I began to speak like that. I really understand. I understand. Because anything that you are not devoted to, you know that it does not work for you. He said, oh, sure, you understand us very well. And we sat down and we ate. I ate with them. I mean, they eat from the same plate. There's nothing like this one has it. No, we all ate from the same plate. And then when the wife was to celebrate her birthday, the wife told him that she's not gonna be sleeping on that hard mattress, that she need a real bed. That if not, he's not gonna get some no more. No more sex. And he ran to me at my job place and said, please, Pastor, I need some help. I said, what kind of help do you need? All the people were looking at me at the time speaking like an Indian. So what kind of help are you looking for from me? He said, you remember when you came to eat with us last time? I said, yes, a couple of weeks ago. Yes. And I'm shaking my head from side to side like they do, like Indians when they're excited, they shake their head from side to side. I said, yeah, what can I do for you? He said, you see, you were right when you say that you understand women more than I do, more than most men. I said, yes, I do.
Oh my God, Bishop.
And he said, let me tell you something. She woke up this morning and I brought her flowers because today is her birthday. And she said that she cannot be sleeping on that mat today. I should not even touch her. And you know that I don't want my family to scatter. Please, can you take me to where I can buy a bed? You know, we don't have all that money. You can help us to purchase a good bed and all of that with the friends and everything. And I know you know how to put this thing together. I said, yes, I do. He said, let's go. So I took them in my car and we drove and we went and I bought a bed for them, bought the frame, bought the bunk, bought the everything. And we brought it home and we set it up and so on. And I said, you can lie down on it. The wife pushed him aside, and the wife first was the first person who went after making the bed. She lay down. She said, now I can tell you that I'm in America. I said, yes, Mama, I know. I know how that feels. I know how it feels. And I left them. That's the last time that I saw them, but they're very nice people. Very, very nice people. Very nice people. And they are very devoted to their altar. When I tell people, please order my picture and put it at your altar to remind you of the Holy One, of divinity, of Jesus. And if you want to know how to put up an altar, call me and I will talk to you, because depending on where you live, depending on the culture that you grow up, will help me know how your altar should be set up. And we have communion cups. You should have communion cups. I have them for sale here that you should buy and put in your altar, so that when we are having communion, you use that. We have those things. Communion bread, we have them. We've not yet put them on our website for sale, but you can order them from us. We'll put them so that you have all the things you need at your altar. The prayer request you send to me, you should have a copy at your altar. And when I finish setting you free from curses still linked to your bloodline and move you to the bloodline of Jesus, you should have a documented account of it on your altar. So beginning from tomorrow, go to our website, send a check, send a money order, whatever, to P.O. Box 2491, Wichita, Kansas 67201, or you can go to our website and sow a good seed, and you call, and then we will set up appointment because it's a service. It's a service. It's not prayer. I'm not doing any prayer for you. It's a service I'm doing for you to link you with the bloodline of Jesus forever. So this begins on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those are the 4 days that I'm asking God to open a portal for me in heaven, to open heaven for me to do this for anyone who calls. So go and tell your office members, your mother, your father, your family members. And for each of them, bring something. Bring a certain amount of money that represents each of them. And let each person call. Nobody is standing for anybody. If they live outside the country, give them our number, 316-665-4400. And I will be in the office 8 o'clock in the morning on those days till 6 p.m. at night. So you find time, you call me, we'll have your own time. During that time, it's just that service is for you. And whatever will be done will stop this difficulty, so that I'm praying for God to give me millionaires and billionaires. And I've asked him, why are they not emerging? And he said, you have to do this. If not, what I'm ministering to you about destiny and dreams will not work if you're having this going on. All right. So you now know.
What did you say? This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, what is it about?
Oh my gosh.
I missed it, Bishop. I joined late. Sorry.
Okay, cool. Somebody tell her what this is about.
Yeah. Please.
It's about chasing your bloodline of your family.
What? Okay, prayers for the family. So
cleansing your bloodline, linking your bloodline to the bloodline of Jesus. That's what we are doing for 4 days.
Okay.
Okay.
So we can call you and just consult, or what is this about? That's all I want to.
Go back and watch the videos. I cannot go back through it. Can somebody give her? Can somebody give her a summary of everything and tell her, including the financial this thing needed? Can somebody give her a summary of it? Somebody who understands what I've been saying.
Yeah, Victoria, can please, Victoria.
Who are on the line tonight? Who can explain to her?
Okay, I'll watch the video. That's fine.
Good. That's the best thing to do.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is there anybody who do not understand what I've been saying tonight? Can you say it now? All right. Everyone, you can have a wonderful good night. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Let me check and see what time is it. It's 10:07. Okay. At 11 o'clock Central Time tonight, at 11 o'clock Central Time, which is the next 1 hour, which is 12 p.m. Eastern, I'll be having a night prayer. Good night. I'll see you in the next 1 hour.